We're in Marina Bay for round 7 of Season 17. Rebel on pole from T. Gabo and Cosmos. Then it's Oscar Forestad, Jack Carter, and Akari Lopez. Santino Milan starts 7th from David Camino and Daniel Bogdasarov. Then it's Leo in 10th from Marcus Nelson and P. Sierra. Tommy starts 13th on the grid from Inocui, Sebastian Ocampo, and UK Ball, only 16th for him. Then it's iWorld, Mielrez, Dav Sanchez, Lars Leclerc, Michael Novikov, and Bastian Tan. Well, we've had 6 rounds of this championship already, with half of them seeing half of the grid retire. Hopefully we see less cars go out. And we go green here in Singapore. And that's a pretty good start from Rebo. Gabo having to back off coming into the first chicane. And so as we come through that first chicane, only a piece of damage that we can see is from Sebastian Ocampo, who's got a 5-second time penalty coming out of that. Volstad dropping to P4, Cosmos to P3, starting on the hard tires, but Revo's still in the way from T. Gabo as it was on the grid. It's an Italian 1-2, but Gabo coming back at him as we now enter the second sector of the track. He's really just trying to hustle the hyperdrive van. Cars are up to P3, and we've got yellow flags down in the second sector. We've got a broken red front wing end plate, and we've also got more yellow flags down there. Is that for Novikov? I can't really tell. Oh, we will see, of course, the drivers who've gotten damage back to the front wing with Santino Milan's, and I can only imagine who else would have gotten in more yellow flags being flown. It could have been iWorld running over the debris, because that's what we can see from here. But it's Revo leading the way from Gabo and Jack Carter. What a start from that at number 98 Hyperdrive Racing driver. And I think this is a very good place to announce a PR statement from Hyperdrive Racing. They will not continue post-Season 17 as Milan coming into pit lane to fix that front wing. They will leave the championship at the end of this season, with them being replaced by the DS Automobiles. So, of course, that's going to mean that DS Andretti is now going to become a secondary team, a customer team. Ocampo in that DS Andretti. Camino, another 5-second time penalty. Sliding backwards is Cosmos, and he's dropped way down the order, down to 11th. He's lost his front wing, and that is another incident involving David Camino. 10 seconds worth of time penalties in 2 laps. And we've got, massive shunt there. Bastian Tan sideways, upside down. David Camino out of the Prix, UK Ball out of the race as well. And that's 3 drivers out of the Prix. There is David Camino up on the side of the wall. And that is 3 men out of the race who really wish that they were still in it. It's only lap 2, and we've had a massive shunt. Bastian Tan, David Camino, and UK Ball all out of this race as we begin lap 3 of 15. So we're still under virtual safety car conditions. Leo got a 5-second time penalty. I think that's for colliding with Bastian Tan, but he has had to come in. Sierra's lost his front wing. Cosmos has also lost his front wing, as previously mentioned. So Camino's just been out here being a menace. So Gabo then, still on the back of Revo, hasn't really been able to use either attack mode or charge on this lap. Due to all of this carnage, Marcus Nelson has basically been left alone. He's by himself. Same with Oscar Volstad. But you do have this 4-way fight for the lead, with Akari making up back of it. Akari up into P4. Should have mentioned this earlier, didn't. But Pinnacle looks to have found their feet in this championship after Season 15, where they won the title. It looks like they became complacent last season, but hopefully they're not. So with 12 laps to go, here are your fan boost winners. Oscar Volstad, Tommy, and Sebastian Ocampo have all won the fan boost for this E3, and they'll be used they'll be able to use it once throughout this lap. So that is Olstad, Ocampo, and Tommy who have won it. Sierra setting a faster second sector of anyone down in 17th. Doesn't need any attack mode or anything of the like. And you can see Ocampo's already used his fan boost because he's just tried to set a fastest lap. Santino Milan setting a new fastest lap because we finally had a lap with no yellow flags. But here comes Tommy coming down straight, using attack mode and fan boost as much as he can. Volstad using attack mode using fan boost right now to close into the back of Akari, and you can see Tommy's use has helped him quite a bit. Almost died down the inside. T Gabo out of the E3. Gabo is out of this race. That's day over for the Virgin driver. No collision with his countryman in Ravo, but that means Hyperdrive now lead a 1-2. Hyperdrive Racing currently have a 1-2 in a race. This felt possible last season, but I can't remember it happening. And considering that they fielded a rookie for this season, it felt even less possible. But the Danish number 98 doing everything he can. Ravo's coming to pit lane, so Jack Carter will lead this E3 from Akari and Oscar Folstad. Your top three a third of the way through this E3. So Revo gonna come out of the pits in 6th at best. Where is he? Can't see him come out of the pits. Iwald and Milrez have also just come out. There is Revo, and he's cut off Sanchez there. Had to brake a lot earlier, did the DS Andretti man. Yellow's in the first sector, and straight on goes Santino Milan. He's lost after this front wing as well. Nismo's day has gone from bad to worst, and I don't know if they can score points today. That's how bad it's gotten. Revo's dropped to 12th, however. Is there a problem? Out of the race goes Jack Carter and Akari as well. Revo's got a front puncture. Oh my goodness me. Hyperdrive Racing has lost one of their drivers and had another of them encounter a puncture. He has just come out of the pits. Oh my goodness. And so that means Oscar Folstad is going to be leading this race. He's probably going to have to come into the pits. Nelson, similar situation. The top three have all got damage. And into the wall goes Bogdasarov. Revo dropping down the order like a rock. And into the wall he goes, losing part of his front wing as well. Cosmos is going to have to try and get past as quickly as possible. As Yellow's again. And that's in the third sector. Lost front wing. That's for someone else there. Oh dear. Many drivers deciding to come into the pits at the end of that lap, but Folstad still leading this race, deciding not to come in. Same with Ocampo and Novikov. So Marcus Nelson, as it was last time out, is currently in the hot seat to try and win this E3. Oh dear. I did not think coming into today that Hyperdrive Racing, who have just gotten one of their best ever joint qualifyings in their existence, I didn't think that they would have an issue like that. Folstad out! Oscar Folstad out of the E3. Revo comes out of the pits on soft tyres. Hopefully they check the tyre pressure this time. But Sebastian Ocampo now inherits the race lead. But he does have a 5-second time penalty. Riding the wall. He has no grip in that DS Andretti. There's definitely something out there at that turn that is reducing grip. And I don't think it's water. VSC is ending. And so we go back racing. On board with Cosmos. Yellow's in the third sector for race leader Sebastian Ocampo. But as the rest of the field comes through that part of the track, Ocampo's leading the way with a broken front wing, of which he's probably going to have to... He does come in to change. Clerk, 5-second time penalty. What has happened here? Looks like one of those three, Milrez, hit the wall, lost part of his front wing. And it just looks like it's a concertina effect. And it's just mass brake testing effectively. And Cosmos is going to take second here. but Marcus Nelson leads the way for the second week in a row. There comes Ocampo out of pit lane, and his teammate forced into the wall. They could have timed that pit exit a little bit better, knowing where all the cars are. But of course, can't really predict too much in this sport. Revo currently in 14th, currently hoping for more drivers to retire from this race for him to get points. However, the man currently second in the world driver standings, Gabo, is out of the Prix. So Marcus Nelson currently in the hot seat to do well, and that's P. in the wall. He reverses out, and that's Cosmos out of the Prix. Cosmos sideways, both Mahindra cars in trouble there. As Milan coming through, pushed back. There is P. out of the Prix. Is P. Cosmos out of the race. As Leo comes through this part of the track, that right there is Sebastian Ocampo, who's caught a bit of trouble as well. Virtual safety car flies, and an Huey looks to have been involved in that too. It's all about how much grip you've got out there, team, today, because you got good grip. You're not going to slide off it any of these turns. But down to 13 runners in the Prix. Revo currently, where is he? He's gonna currently, if it were to finish as is, no more changes, he would be 8th, because the 4 guys ahead of him all have time penalties. So for Revo, this is the dream situation after having a puncture. This would be one of the great recovery drives that we'll see in this championship. Only greater is if he can win this race, which I don't find plausible, as Marcus Nelson comes through the chicane in the lead of an Prix for the second time this season, and he's going to try and go for a second championship. At least we hope. We and everyone in the United Kingdom hopes he can go for a second title, because out of the champions we've had so far, Nelson seems to be arguably one of the most fraudulent. But, you know, that's how the cookie can crumble in this championship. Milrez, Nelson's teammate, currently making up the back of the grid. So the entire field in an app sports line sandwich. So on to lap 9 of 15 we go. Marcus Nelson from Bogdasar from Tommy, your top 3. Next, EV Neo, currently running 3rd and 6th. So that's the highest combined point score, I'd wager, of anyone out there. I think that might actually be 24 points, so App Sportsline might actually have more points on them. Nokovov heading a faster track, a 1:18.1. This is one of the longer tracks in this championship, and it's really telling how quick the cars are when the longest track gives you lap times of that length. Nelson beginning to struggle with his tyres, it seems, out there in front. But as you can see, Tommy's out! Tommy out of the Prix! Hit the wall! And that's it for him. So now Daf Sanchez is going to go up into 3rd. Revo currently in 12th, eating this up. We've had 10 drivers retire from this Prix. He's currently looking at a P7 finish, and it'll be a P7 finish he'll need quite dearly, as the virtual safety car now ends, and we go back racing on lap 9 of 15. Make that lap 10 now, as into the pits comes Daniel Bogdasarov for his second and hopefully final stop. Sanchez also probably coming in. He does come in, so Iwold will take 3rd from him. Nokovov to P3, we believe, but Nelson's really extending the life of his mediums out there. And he's got a 15-second lead over Iwold. That's effectively a pit stop ahead of the man currently in 2nd, but you can see he's beginning to struggle with his tires out there. So the Marina Bay Prix being another race of attrition, as it usually is. So Nelson currently still leading the Prix here in Marina Bay. Singapore always sees a high attrition rate as into the wall goes Iwold. Oh, that's an QE further back. Leclerc wall rides. That's also Leo wall riding there as well. Rebo getting a 5-second time penalty. Not what he needs right now. Airborne for Bogdasarov out of the race. We're looking at Rebo currently P6. We've lost 3 men there. And what the hell happened there? Dav Sanchez went airborne. We're down to 8 runners. Here in Marina Bay, 5 laps to go. That is the most hectic lap we've ever seen. What the hell happened there? Virtual safety car is ending. Thank God I'm recording this. If I wasn't, this would be hell. But my God, into the pits comes iWorld. Santino Milan also into pit lane. Alongside Leo, Rebo coming in as well. Ocampo staying out. Marcus Nelson somehow leading this race. I have no clue. He's just come out of the pits. He's going to be leading. He's going to win 2 races in a row. He's going to win 2 races in a row if it finishes as is. But you can never count your chickens before they hatch. And especially not here in Singapore. Because we've seen this happen so many times. But there goes Novikov in P2. This is one of the races of all time in this championship. Ocampo so close to the wall. I'm shocked he hasn't decided to come in yet because he's currently up in 3rd. Oh my God. What happened with Sanchez and Bogdasarov there though? They both just kind of flipped airborne. But yeah, lap 12 of 15 in the Marina. Oh my God. Marcus Nelson leading the way from Michael Novikov and Sebastian Ocampo, who's currently rounding out the final turn with iWorld right behind him. So iWorld currently looking for a 2nd podium of the season. This top 3 is going to be completely out of left field. There is no way anyone would have predicted this. But iWorld's actually going to try and make the overtake on track. He doesn't have to. Ocampo's got a 5-second time penalty. But with attack mode, coming down the straight, he takes P3. That's quite the move from the Angolan driver in the number 21. He's caught Ocampo napping there a little bit as out has gone Michael Novikov. Novikov out of the Prix. He's crashed all on his own. Virtual safety car. And we're down to 7 drivers. Please, no more crashes. Please. This race has been absolute hell for so many drivers. For some it's been crashes, for others it's been penalties, for some it's been both, for some it's even been a puncture and a half. On lap 13 and 15 with 2 more laps to go, Marcus Nelson is leading this race from iWorld, Sebastian Ocampo, Santino Milan, and Leo, Rebo, and Enoch Huey. Oh my goodness me, 7 drivers still in this race. And you know what, for Rebo, when it comes to the championship, at least he gets to defend from Gabo by scoring points. But then he's got Marcus Nelson, who's leading this race commandingly and convincingly. But still, we look to Nelson. The champion has been asleep for quite a long time since season 12. But I think we're finally seeing the return of the Marcus Nelson of old. Of the Marcus Nelson of his Mahindra days. Of the Marcus Nelson who was champion. Santino Milan closing in on a champion. Not the normal exit from that turn we've seen from Ocampo, so he knows that Milan's there. They're going to go side by side into the tightest chicane of the calendar, and that's taken out Santino Milan. And Sebastian Ocampo has lost his front wing as well. 6 runners on lap 13, and I think we can blame no one else but Sebastian Ocampo for that wreck. That was completely unnecessary for him to be challenging the Nissan man so heavily coming through that turn. No team is going to score double points today. Nelson comes in for his final stop of the day. And I expect on this, the penultimate lap of the Prix, I just hope there's no more crashes. That's all I want. Ocampo coming into the pits. And with an QE still in this race, he's actually going to do quite well. I think he's going to get 4th here today. Well, an QE. And this is the thing. If you're a driver like Revo or Ocampo, who's used to finishing on the podium, a 5th or a 6th place finish doesn't sound too appeasing. But then you realize that no one behind you, if you're 6th, is going to score points because they're all out of the race. But we look to Marcus Nelson. This has been his race ever since the halfway point of this Prix. I rolled into the wall! Oh dear, he's lost his front wing, hasn't he? Yeah, he's lost half of his front wing. Leo coming to the chicane as well. That's deep! And he just misses the barrier. I thought he was going to lick it for a second there. Almost akin to Iwald's incident in there. And out goes an QE! An QE out of the Prix! He was the only man behind Iwald who didn't have any penalties. But he's out now. We always talk so highly about the top 5 in an Prix. But the top 5 will be all the drivers who finish. Marcus Nelson, on the final lap of this race, leads a 5-car fleet to the end of this race. And considering Iwald has got front wing damage, I would push that to a 4-car fleet. I have little certainty that with the lack of grip that Iwald currently has, once he comes through that chicane, I doubt that he'll be able to finish this. He's got so little grip as well as that. And it's a similar story for Leo and Revo. I think this is how it's going to end. This man who's coming onto your screen now, Marcus Nelson, he's had quite the seasons prior to this. Is Iwald coming through, and it is out of this Prix. Iwald out of the race, so we will end this race under virtual safety car. That number 13 is quite the successful number in this championship. It took B-Dragon Sonic to his first title. It's taken Marcus Nelson to his first World Drivers title. It's taken both men to a multitude of race wins. But for Marcus Nelson, he's going to round out the final turn. And for the 2nd week in a row, Marcus Nelson wins the Marina Bay Prix. And he's 17 seconds ahead of Leo, who will come home to finish 2nd place, if he can finish, considering that we're going to end a race with only 4 men finishing. Revo will be 4th, and Sebastian Ocampo will come home to finish in 4th position. Revo will finish this race on the podium, at least 20 seconds the difference between 1st and 2nd. Wow. This is the podium then. Marcus Nelson, for the 2nd week in a row, he wins the Marina Bay Prix from Leo and Revo. Then it's Sebastian Ocampo, the last of your finishers in 4th. So in the drivers' standings, Revo leads the way on 83 points from Marcus Nelson on 50. Then it's T. Gallo, Leo, Lawler Leclerc, and Sebastian Tan, and U. Cable, Jack Carter, Seb Ocampo, Oscar Follerstad, and Daniel Bogdasarov, Cosmos, P. Sierra, Akari Lopez, Daf Sanchez, David Camno, Mulres, Anot QE, Santino Milan, and Michael Novikov, with Tommy yet to score any points. In the constructors' standings heading into the next round in Rome, Hyperdrive Racing lead the way on 114 points from Mercedes Formula E team on 71. Then it's Virgin Renault on 66, at Sportsline on 59, McLaren TGR on 55, then it's Aurelio Pinnacle on 50 points, Braun Honda GP on 43, DS Andretti on 41, Mahindra on 31, Nissan Nismo on 24, and NextEV Neo on 3. We'll see you guys next time then for hopefully a much calmer race at Rome.